the thing that struck me the most, if we are going to talk about the old man on Sunday mornings, we patriarchal flatulence. To me, that was like the background music of our relationship with Dad.
Background music. Background music. I like that.
Yeah, there was no escaping it. There was no getting away from it.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter if it was Saturday morning, Saturday night.
You just knew Dad was in the house.
Yeah. Huh.
And let's face
And
it, my pals
absolutely no restraint, no, totally unabashed, just wherever, whatever.
Just some pride attached. See, that wasn't even a microaggression. That was just an aggression.
No, that was just, hey, look, if we did it, Dad would, he would have said something too, but it wouldn't have been like he would have been angry with us. We all have flatulence. I won't say issues because I don't consider them issues. I'm proud of the fact that I have my dad's bowels. But don't you like that? Because that does tie in with the church thing. Because that was, remember the whole Sunday morning after we came from church, everybody rushed to go to the bathroom before Dad did. Because after that, whatever part of the paper didn't read, he was going to take it with him and sit in the toilet for an hour.
And it was going to be no man's land for a couple hours after that.
Right, send in the canary because it just wasn't safe.
Oh.
And then you wonder when he was at work on the weekends.
Here's the thing, though. I always wondered, after I got a little bit older, I always wondered if everybody else's house was like that too, and we just didn't know it. I don't think it was.
I don't either.
I don't think it was either. I don't. You know,
Because Dad was different, and even the guys who met Dad said he was different. Dad's funeral. How many guys showed up? Oh, your dad was so funny. Your dad this, your dad that. I'm like, he didn't live it. But you can imagine if that was our Sunday with him in the toilet. That would mean all his weekdays at work, he was doing the same thing. And I'm just trying to see how that would go.
You know, here's the thing. There's a work you and there's a home you. Can't believe that he would walk around. But then again, he was amongst a lot of working class guys.
He was also
guys, so maybe it was all right.
He was different at the news in a sense. It all depended on who was around.
But remember, at the news was when
I
was still there.
Yes, yeah. That's why I'm saying it all depended on who was around because whoever his supervisor was, I went to school with his kids.
Ryan.
Yeah, and the daughter worked there, and I guess that the old man was, hello, little girl. He did, did that stuff. When she was around, he was like,
Mr. Gentleman.
Yes,
right.
Yeah. She walks out of the room, and where's that fake leg at? I'm gonna piss in it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just that though. He still had to stank up that bathroom. So even if it wanted to be nice,
you make it sound like a goal.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna throw one at you, Beth, because I'm not sure how it worked at Delca because it was kind of a big room, and then you're already walking. I mean, there's a bunch of chemicals and stuff that's being sloshed around in front of you at different angles and stuff. So walking in and in there, now maybe at the news.
But I'm saying that the news was his day job. Remember, that was his day job. So that was when he was crapping because it was about 11 o'clock every time he was home. That's always when he hit that bathroom. So that's probably when he hit it at work. And even if he wasn't, hey guys, I'm taking the paper. I'll see you in an hour. Even if he didn't do that, he still had to have bombed that place. I mean, if we had to send the canaries in, what the hell did they have to do?
I did work with
at work that he had specific time periods where he had break times. Isn't that the way that a factory works or a newspaper works?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how the news worked.
The whole point is he still would have had to have shut that bathroom down for a while.
But actually, I did run into somebody who worked with him at the news. He did something else. He was a millwright. I think he was a millwright at GM, but he also worked at the news. And he talked about the old man head. Yeah, he said, quote, he could drop some bombs. That's what the guy told me. And then I went and I started talking to the old man about it. And then the old man because he was like, he knew who the guy was. And he was saying, I guess the guy had taught his kid at a very young age, made him a potty mouth. Said he wasn't good because he was, the kid was dropping the F-bomb when he was like 3 years old. And the guy was, So,
right.
I had one in one ear saying, so.
Because Big Tom was so genteel.
But I did hear about, so he, at the news, he did do something, so.
I'm saying, because I can just imagine. Because.
What? Do you see this room full of desks? Everybody's hard at work looking at their papers, and suddenly this fart rips through the room, and everybody stops for a second, looks back and everybody just says,
Just
"Oh, it's
oh,
time."
oh my God, it must be 11:15.
It's about that time.
Hey, get to the bathroom. It's 10 o'clock because in 15 minutes, big time coming through.
That's right. It's getting ready to blow.
11:15.
Yeah, so he's kind of like the alarm. Yeah, that's right, the lunch alarm.
Okay, so I gotta ask, since you're all at an apple fruit from the tree, have you ever had that problems at work yourself?
No.
No.
No, we had a different set of priorities.
It's not priorities. Sometimes you just gotta do it.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I spent 20 years in the Army, and there was a decorum. You didn't want to be vile. I mean, sometimes maybe at night if you're in a tent somewhere and you're screwing around, maybe. But that wasn't one of those things you just sit around all day and broke wind and stuff.
If you have to go to the toilet, what are you gonna do?
Walk over to the toilet.
Well, you do what you gotta do,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's not like Dad had the greatest diet.
That's
Well, it's not just that though. Too, the news is an office setting, so you probably
Yeah.
you don't have those industrial bathrooms like you do at GM. But okay, Eric, Kevin, because you now both work in nursing homes, but you both work in places where you've got smaller bathrooms.
uh-huh.
You've
Right.
never looked at that bathroom and thought,
I'm gonna do a number. I'm gonna make somebody sorry. I'm gonna make the next person who walks in here the
I'll
sorriest
show
son of a bitch. Right? I'm gonna plug up that fan up there. Somebody give me that toilet paper. I'm gonna plug that freaking fan up. Right? What's that? And I'm gonna tap dance. I'm gonna tap dance down the hallway. Right? Before I get to the bathroom, so I make sure I shake everything loose. Da, 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 da.
out of the bathroom and said to somebody, if I were you, I'd wait about 10 minutes. Never.
Well, come on. To be honest, Beth, you know about this. You know the smells
You know what, Beth? Not
you
in the nursing
get
home.
when you're walking in the hallways in certain areas. The healthcare center is notorious for that.
Well, there you go. That's another thing.
So if you're smelling the Garden of Eden there, why would you worry about what you're going to leave in the bathroom?
I don't want to say worry about it. I think it's other people's worries.
I will say this. I didn't. I mean, I was always like really super aware that a man amongst a bunch of women, right? And if you go in there and you do, then you're opening things up, right? So I was always super sensitive about that stuff. But there was this one older nurse, and a couple of times that we had one break room. We had a total of 3 toilets. We had one in the break room. We had one out in the hall. So anyway, make a long story short, this old nurse, she did that. She came out. You hear the toilet flush. She comes out and says, "You're gonna want to wait a while." And she was so freaking proud of herself. And and she tells, and I was like standing there at the door, I was getting ready to knock on it when she opens it up, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. So, but I also sit down and think, if I would have done that, open the door and there was a nurse saying, you might want to take a minute, right? Or am I looking at it the wrong way? I don't know, but that's how I am. I mean, I'm super sensitive about that stuff.
I could be that. I think you're being super sensitive because fart proudly and all that stuff. Because it's happened to me. I've walked out and said to people, "Nah, you may want to wait." Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. Oh, is that how you put it? You might want to wait. No, you said. So good, I had to flush twice. You might want to wait a couple hours, Junior.
Well,
That was one of Big Tom's favorite lines.
Oh, Papa, why you gotta let it fly? Every step you take, the room says goodbye. Silent but deadly, or loud with a grin. Dad's gas game strong, let the show begin.
Will you please get me something to fucking drink?